welcome to my kitchen and welcome to Cooking with Sally J. I am continuing with some of my Christmas baking. Again, it is Christmas Eve, and right now what we're going to make is homemade stuffing. Now, again, I don't know where this recipe came from. I think my Grammy Lavasser, because most stuffings are made with bread. This one is not. It's made with potato and Hamburg. It is like my favorite stuffing. I love Bruce's mom's stuffing too, and we make that fairly often, but I finally learned how to make this because for years the only time I would get it is if Mom made it. But I learned last year how to make it, and so we're going to do that today. So, in Mom's note to me, she used a couple of tablespoons of margarine in her pan when she fries up her Hamburg. It adds flavor. Typically, when I fry up my Hamburg, I do not use anything because there's enough fat in the burger. But for this, I am because I want all that flavor. Now, I'm a little messy because I've been going back and forth doing all these things, so excuse if you see messy stuff. Now, ahead of time, I have already boiled my potatoes. You need a 5-pound bag of potatoes peeled and boiled so you can mash them. I'm letting that cool off just a little bit, but I want my Hamburg to be ready when I'm ready for everything. I also have chopped up 2 onions and 2 sticks of celery, and I've mashed them with my masher, so I think my mother gets them finer than that, but I like the flavor and I like the taste, and they shrivel up when you're cooking them anyway. So whatever to your liking. Okay, so we are cooking about more Hamburg than you need. You only need about 1 pound. I like meat in my stuff. So we probably got close to 1.5 pounds here. And all you're going to do, I do flavor my meat. The recipe does not call for that, but I do. So if you have flavorings that you like, and if you watch my videos, you should know what I like: meat tenderizer and garlic salt. I'm just going to fry this up till it's nice and brown. The Hamburg just about all browned up, ready for the next step. Alrighty, so we're ready to put the stuffing together. There's just some things I didn't bother showing you because you know how to mash up your potatoes. Now, I did not, when I do mashed potatoes to serve on a meal, I'll put butter in there and some milk. I did not do that with this. I just mashed it up. If you have a masher, a handheld masher, that would work fine. I don't, so I just use this to do that. So the next step, again, which I didn't show you because everybody knows how to chop an onion or chop your celery. And in case you don't, you just cut it up, and then you just take this, or if you don't have that, put it through a food processor. I just find that if I do the food processor, it makes it a little wet. It may be a little too fine for me, and this is just about perfect. But you can put it through a food processor. So this is 2 medium onions. That's just going to go right in with your potato. and 2 celery stalks, minced up good. Okay, got that. This is my recipe my mother wrote on for me. I will fix it because I want to save it, because she wrote a little note on it too. But it's all ratted and whatever from my tossing it around everywhere. Okay, so now we did that. That said 4 stalks of celery, but I had 2 large ones and that was plenty. So now what we're going to do is add a half a box of Bell's stuffing mix. It has to be Bell's, not stovetop, not no name. If you want the flavor that I'm getting, you want to use Bell's. Little Bryn just went home and she cried because our routine is I lay down and she falls to sleep with her, and I told her she was going home for a nap. She's like, she pointed to the upstairs and she's like, Mimi, and pointed back up to the upstairs. It made me feel really good. But I said, no, you're going to go home and have a nap in your bed. She was okay with that. So you just want half of the bag. We got half of the box in here with the onion and the celery. So we're going to mix that all up together. Good. I'm using the mixer. You can use your hands. I'm thinking I'm going to want to use my hands because it just works better for me. So just get right into it, people. Doesn't hurt a thing, and you can incorporate it much better, and the flavors get in it much better. Okay, so now I'm going to add the Hamburg. I'm going to add my spices and then the Hamburg, and then we'll finish mixing it. In most recipes that call for salt and garlic powder, I use garlic salt because garlic powder and Bruce do not go together. But in this, I don't do that. I do it exactly how she says to do it. So it's 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, and it doesn't seem to bother Bruce in this. So you just sprinkle that evenly over it. And then you want 1 tablespoon of salt. I have tried this with garlic salt instead of doing what I'm doing right now, and it wasn't quite the same. So, and then you want 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Okay. And now you want 2 tablespoons of Bell's poultry seasoning, and that does make a difference too. Now, I always thought poultry seasoning was poultry seasoning, and for the most part, I don't mind. I got a generic or an organic brand in there, and I do like it. But I smelled it last night, and I smelled this one because I was like, I'm not going to buy Bell's just because. But there is a difference. There's more summer savory maybe in the organic one, but the spicy smell and the taste that we get in this stuffing, it's the Bell's, and you need to use the Bell's. And it's 2 tablespoons. Yeah. to that. When I was a kid, I remember my mother hooking up it'd be a meat grinder. She'd hook it up to the end of the table every year. That was part of Christmas, is that meat grinder going at the end of the table and her putting the cooked potatoes through that, riced it, and then she put the hamburger through it before she cooked it, and she put the onions through it. Everything went through that, and it was all browned real fine, and it's just a memory that I have. Thank God I don't have to do that, but it was a fond memory. Okay, so now after the hamburger and all the spices are in, you want to incorporate that all real good together. And it should feel quite dry once it's all mixed in. If it's too dry, which mine's not going to be, I can already tell that, just add a little bit of chicken broth to it, or some water. I always would use Swan's chicken broth if I need to add to it. Before cooking, if I don't put it in the bird, I will put chicken broth on it or turkey broth. You gotta make sure you get down in there and get all the potato. Get it up good. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. And it's setting overnight because we won't have this till tomorrow. It's sitting overnight. All the spices have time to get in through that, and it just adds so much more flavor. And that's the same with that. I have a casserole, squash casserole, on cooking the Sally J too, and that's the same with that. I think if it was made up the day before, it'd be that much better. I've not tried it. Not sure I dare to try it on other people, so I'll wait. But so after you've added your hamburger and your other spices, and you add the rest of the box of stuffing and just incorporate it. I said mine was perfect before. This is going to make it a little drier. I had actually put tinfoil on it and saw the bag, and I'm like, ah! I didn't put the stupid thing in. It's in. But now it's more perfect because this is exactly what it should feel like. And this will need some chicken broth. And my husband is still standing there, so animated with me. He just cracks me up. Bruce Allen. It just... I think I will do my tag right now. Okay, so now this is what this should look like. Okay? And you can, it's an easy ball, but you can easily stuff the turkey or not. Now, if you don't stuff the turkey, I really recommend, you're definitely going to have to put chicken broth on it. And I usually take my fingers and make little holes through it to put the broth over it. And I would cook it, everything in it's cooked, but I'm not cooking it till tomorrow, so it would take a good couple hours. In the turkey, it'll take the whole time you cook the turkey. So I would make sure it's in an oven-safe dish. It can go in a 9x13. I usually put it in a rounder bowl if I'm going to cook it in the oven, so it's deeper. But whatever. But you need to cover it well. Put Swan's chicken broth or whatever kind of chicken broth you like, and bake it at 350 for a couple hours. Okay. So I am probably going to just have a picture of the end result after it's cooked. But if you've liked this video, go ahead and subscribe if you have not. If you you have, thank you very much. You can also find me on Cooking with Sally J's Facebook page, along with the video and the complete recipe. Okay? I hope you've had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope your new year is wonderful. God bless.